we are following breaking news. Iran launching a barrage of missiles into Israel. Major escalation in the conflict in the Middle East. I'm Anderson Cooper alongside my colleague Wolf Blitzer. We've witnessed missiles intercepted across Israel a short time ago as air raid sirens went off on the ground below. The Israeli military now confirms some of those missiles made a direct impact in central and southern Israel. It's estimated Iran launched nearly 200 projectiles. Iran says this attack was in response for the killing of Hezbollah's leader Hassan Nasrallah and other assassinations.
A source says the Israeli security cabinet is in their emergency bunker right now, and the Israeli military says Iran's attack, and I'm quoting now, will have consequences. The White House says both President Biden and Vice President Harris are in the White House Situation Room monitoring the situation. We're standing by to get an immediate update from White House officials and from the U.S. State Department. We also expect to hear from the Pentagon. I want to show you the moment CNN crews saw the Iranian missiles entering Tel Aviv's airspace earlier this afternoon. Watch this.
This is a major attack. Jim Sciutto, this is obviously
it's a major attack. There's no
question.
What
you are seeing, what we are all seeing with our own eyes, is a major attack from Iran.
It's a major attack, Dana, and it's an escalation. It's an escalation of this war beyond what we saw. I think potentially beyond what we saw in April when Iran launched dozens of missiles and drones. This attack, according to U.S. intelligence, principally or perhaps entirely ballistic missiles, which are the fastest by far and the most dangerous.
تعال شوفها من هون تعال شوفها من هون ماما ولكم شوفوا فوق هي شوفوا فوقيه هون هي
Holy sh**.
Never seen this ever. What the heck?
What we're seeing in addition to those intercepts is we're seeing fragments falling to the ground. It's like a deadly fireworks display over Tel Aviv. Goodness, there was an impact just to the left of us here.
And you're talking about Tel Aviv, Jim. We are looking at pictures right now. We are looking at pictures of Tel Aviv, what you're describing.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. Okay, guys, we got to get off the roof. These are coming down right next to us here.
Please do, Jim. Please do.
They're coming down. One just about. We got to go inside.
So that was roughly an hour and a half ago. I want to go back to Jim Sciutto, who is still in Tel Aviv, back on the roof. He saw it cover at a certain point about an hour or so ago. Jim, just talk about first of all, how are things right now? And talk a little bit about the video that we just saw, what we were looking at.
So right now, I should be clear, the air raid sirens have ended, and there was an announcement, in fact, a short time ago saying it's okay to return safely. And as I understand it, even Iranian officials have said that this attack, from their perspective, is over. But let me describe, as this was happening, to be clear, it's our whole team here, and you know well, Anderson, that there's a lot of folks that go into getting images like that on the air. What we were seeing was not just the incoming missiles, but the whole array of Israeli air defenses firing to intercept those missiles. And it's multi-layered around the city, both in terms of the altitudes they strike, but also just layers of defenses. And as it struck me as I was watching it, is that they were coming to a meeting point in the sky just above us, just to the east of us here, but also increasingly above our heads, so that we could see the missile fragments, as you're seeing there, coming down, or perhaps the intercepted missiles, once they'd completed their mission, perhaps struck a target, coming down. And the one you just saw right there on the screen, because I believe that's the top of our hotel there with the blue light, came just to the right of us. And once it was clear to me, Anderson and Wolf, that these intercepts were taking place above our heads, gravity works, we decided to go inside until that particular barrage was over. Then there was a pause in between. We came out again, and then there was a second barrage of about the same duration. So at least dozens of missiles, it seems. And I find it remarkable, frankly, that there were no casualties, as Admiral Hogari just said a short time ago, because in addition to those impacts that you're seeing there on the air, there was quite a large one just to the north of us, with flames and smoke rising off in the distance. So I think that folks were listening to those air raid signals. Thankfully, they were going into shelters. They have a lot of experience with that here, and there was probably some good fortune involved that prevented there being casualties. I should note, though, we mentioned this earlier, there were casualties tonight in Tel Aviv, 8 people killed at a light rail station, a shooting at a light rail station just before those missiles started falling, and Israeli authorities say they're investigating that as a potential terrorist attack.
I want to go now to our Ben Wiedemann, who is standing by in Beirut. Ben, explain what you heard from your vantage point in Beirut as these strikes were going on in Israel.
What we saw, Anderson, was fireworks over the southern suburbs of Beirut, an area where Hezbollah has many supporters. We also heard celebratory gunfire. And I'm watching, as I'm speaking to you, Hezbollah's TV station, El Manar, is running loops of incoming missiles hitting Israel. So clearly there is, among those supporters of Hezbollah, there is a certain amount of satisfaction seeing this happen, keeping in mind that 2 weeks ago with the pager attacks, the walkie-talkie attacks, and over the last 8 days, punishing Israeli airstrikes, and of course last Friday the assassination of Hassan Nasrallah, the leader of Hezbollah. Certainly Hezbollah has taken just one body blow after another. So clearly there are certain elements within Lebanese society that are taking satisfaction at what is going on at the moment. Not necessarily the broader population in Lebanon, many of whom have just been sitting watching television with a certain amount of dread, certainly over the last 24 hours, as we've seen Israel start limited ground operations so far into the south. But certainly this additional development of these extensive Iranian missile strikes on Israel certainly raises the level of concern to heights we haven't seen yet. Anderson?
Let me pick it up. It's Wolf. Ben, as you know, and most of our viewers should know by now, the Hezbollah forces in South Lebanon have accumulated thousands of rockets and drones and missiles, potentially that could be aimed towards Israel. I haven't seen a huge, they've been doing it a lot. They started October 8th, the day after October 7th. They began Hezbollah launching some of these rockets and missiles towards Israel. But given their capabilities, and the assumption by U.S. intelligence, Israeli intelligence, was that Hezbollah always had a major threat, potential threat to Israel. Why haven't the Hezbollah forces in South Lebanon launched more of these projectiles towards Israel?
It's important to note, Wolf, that the projectiles they launch from southern Israel tend to be short range, focused on Israeli military positions along the border. They have longer range missiles that we do not believe they keep in that area where, as we've seen, there's a high probability of an Israeli ground incursion. Those are kept further north, away from the Israelis. Why haven't they used them so far? That's a question many people here are asking. It probably has something to do with the fact that what we've seen going back to July 30th is the gradual and increasingly rapid elimination of many of the senior commanders of Hezbollah. And of course, Hassan Nasrallah last Friday. Now, yesterday we did hear from one of the senior deputy of Nasrallah, Naim Qasim, who said in a television broadcast that despite these blows, Hezbollah has not collapsed, that they still are able to function. Now, the question is the fact that they haven't fired some of their longer, heavier weaponry, is it because of the elimination of the military command, or is it because they're holding it in reserve in the event there is a full-on invasion of southern Lebanon? And certainly we are getting indications from, for instance, warnings on Twitter from the Arabic spokesman for the Israeli military about telling people essentially to go tens of kilometers north away from southern Lebanon. The indications are there may well be a full-on Israeli invasion of the south, in which case there's a much higher probability that Hezbollah, which already feels crippled and cornered, may unleash its heaviest weapons yet. Wolf?
And some of those heaviest weapons potentially could reach not only Haifa in northern Israel, but even Tel Aviv and perhaps even further south in Israel. And the Israelis have always been very, very worried about that possibility. Ben, stay safe over there in Beirut.